Hey everyone, I just wanted to put together a short video here because there's been, I've uncovered some cheating on a test in Algebra 2, and I am giving this lecture or spiel, I guess, to all of my in-person students, and I feel like it's worth putting online for my online students as well, because the students that cheated come from different hours as well as hybrid and online. And I also think that it's worth putting this in a video format because I've noticed an outlook or a perspective on cheating and lying from students and the people in general, but from students over the years that I think it's self-destructive. I think it's ultimately dangerous for students at some level. And so that's another motivation for this video. So I want to be clear about something at the outset here. Cheating is lying. Okay, so the definition of lying is believing or knowing one thing and communicating something else. Okay, when I give a test or a quiz or something, or even an assignment, and you submit it to me, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out your understanding of it. And what you give back, I'm assuming, is your understanding. So if you take someone else's answers, for instance, or you copy answers from the internet or something, and you put those down as your answers, you are telling me that that is your understanding of the content, when in fact it's not, right? So that's a lie. So I don't think we need to, I don't think there's any reason to think that cheating is somehow different from lying or should be set in a different basket of things that we do than lying. All right, so now that that's out there, what I'd like to do is read a short excerpt from a book called Lying by Sam Harris. And so I'm just gonna read that excerpt and sort of talk about my thoughts at the end, and that'll be it. So he starts off in this part that I've chosen here. We have all stood on both sides of the divide between what someone believes and what he intends others to understand. And the gap generally looks quite different depending on whether one is the liar or the dupe. So in other words, whether one is the liar or the one being lied to. The liar often imagines that he does no harm so long as his lies go undetected. But the one lied to rarely shares this view. The moment we consider our dishonesty from the perspective of those we lie to, we recognize that we would feel betrayed if the roles were reversed. So in other words, when we lie and we think that it's fine as long as the other person doesn't find out, a moment's thought will reveal that if the roles were reversed and the person was doing the lying to you, you would not feel good about that, right? You would think of that person differently, and rightfully so. Okay, so he goes on to say, he tells a little story. A friend of mine, Sita, was once going to visit the home of another friend and wanted to take her a small gift. Unfortunately, she was traveling with her young son and hadn't found time to go shopping. As they were getting ready to leave their hotel, however, Sita noticed that the bath products supplied in the room were unusually nice. So she put some soaps, shampoos, and body lotions into a bag, tied it with a ribbon. She got at the front desk and set off. When Sita presented this gift, her friend was delighted. "Where did you get them?" she asked. Surprised by the question and by a lurching sense of impropriety, Sita sought to regain her footing with a lie. "Oh, we just bought them in the hotel gift shop." The next words came from her innocent son. "No, Mommy, you got them in the bathroom." So then he goes on to kind of break that down. Well, actually, I'll read the next paragraph. Imagine the faces of these women, briefly frozen in embarrassment, and then yielding to smiles of apology and forgiveness. This may seem the most trivial of lies, and it was, but it surely did nothing to increase the level of trust between the two friends. Funny or not, the story reveals something distasteful about Sita. She will lie when it suits her needs. That is the dangerous thing, I think. When you or when students or people in general decide that lying is something that they can do when it suits their needs, that's dangerous. Because one, if people that you trust in your relationships, if they find that out about you, they're going to think less of you, right? They're going to view you as dishonest. Also, the thing that I talked about earlier, if the roles were reversed, you would not probably like that either, okay? So there's that. And then I just wanted to read one other piece of this to you here. He says, Once one commits to telling the truth, one begins to notice how unusual it is to meet someone who shares this commitment. Honest people are a refuge. You know they mean what they say. You know they will not say one thing to your face and another behind your back. You know they will tell you when they think you have failed. And for this reason, their praise cannot be mistaken for mere flattery. And this is a point that I think you should really pay attention to. Honesty is a gift we can give to others. It is also a source of power and an engine of simplicity. Knowing that we will attempt to tell the truth, whatever the circumstances, leaves us with little to prepare for. Knowing that we told the truth in the past leaves us with nothing to keep track of. We can simply be ourselves in every moment. And so that's all I'll read from his book. But I'm trying to tell you these things not from a standpoint of me talking down to you. I'm telling you from a perspective of one, experience with being burned by lying and adopting this transactional approach to lying, and two, doing a lot of reading over the last several years about honesty and lying from a wide range of authors, and it is just not an approach to life that pays off in the long run. It might have some short-term benefits. You might get away with cheating for a while. What I worry about is students, especially or young people, taking this approach out into the world and getting burned badly, either getting in trouble with their employer, their university, who's not going to be nearly as lenient as a high school, or burning your relationships. Because that's the thing, is that at some point, I promise you, this approach to honesty will burn you in your relationships. It will hurt you. It's self-destructive, but it will also hurt other people. And once you lose someone's trust, it is very difficult to get it back. It is very difficult, and it takes a long time. So if you're the type of person that views lying in this way, you should think very hard about that. And I think you should reconsider. Now, I'm not under any illusion that, one apparently 7-minute long video now is going to change your complete worldview on honesty, but I do hope that it will at least get you thinking about it and trying to think long term. One of my students will quite often say, well, a little white lie is not that big a deal. But think about it in two ways. One, reverse the roles. Would you like the white lie to be told to you? And two, think about it in terms of think about it long term. Being honest in the short term is going to, even if it's something that's an uncomfortable discussion, is going to show the person that you're interacting with that you're an honest person. And they are going to view you as an honest person and a trustworthy person. And they're going to trust you more. And you're likely to have better relationships. People will want to have relationships with you and maintain relationships with you if you take that approach, right? So lies almost always are committed in terms of a short-term gain, but the long-term payoff just isn't there. The long-term payoff comes from honesty. And so I just hope you'll consider that. If you view lying or cheating as a way to, as a means by which to get to whatever your ends are, I really hope that you'll reconsider and do some reading on it. There's been a lot written on honesty and lying as being an important approach to life. So take all that into consideration as you move forward.